Alright guys, I'm going to be talking about my current, I don't know if you want to call it duty belt, battle belt, whatever you want to call it. This is the way I have mine set up, and mine specifically is set up similar to a duty belt that you'd wear in either security or as a cop or whatever, because that's what I do for my job. I wear a normal duty belt, so I'm used to that. So that I set mine up similar. I know other guys use wider belts, but I like it this way because, again, that's what I'm used to. That's what I'm familiar with. So if you'll notice on here, I have keepers, which are right here. Some of the keepers I have on there are to keep stuff in place, to keep them from sliding around. And then a few other ones, I usually use about 3 or 4 of them to actually attach it to my inner belt to keep it from moving around, and that works great for me. You might be able to get away with not using keepers depending on your body build. I'm a pretty skinny dude, so I need keepers in order to keep the belt from actually riding up and down as I move around. So I'll go over some of the things I have on here. There's a lot of different things you could change out based on personal preference. Really, it's up to you. But I'll go over why I have things on here and I guess how much each thing costs. So if you're interested in it, you can kind of get a general idea of what this kind of setup will cost you. First, we'll go over, I guess, the mag pouches, which I've covered in another video if you're interested in them. They're the Idogear Mag Pouches. They are pretty nice. Again, if you want to see a full review on them, I have one already. But I carry 2 AR mag pouches and 2 pistol pouches. I don't carry pistol pouches. I'll make a separate video on this on some other point. But I don't carry pistol mags on my plate carrier because my pistol is on my belt. And if I only have my plate carrier, I don't need pistol mags because I don't have a pistol. So that's my reasoning for having this. I carry 2 on there because, again, that's what I carry at work. So it's what I'm used to. I like having a few extra mags. And you should always have at least 1 extra mag in case you have a malfunction with your gun. And most times it's going to be because the magazine's bad. So I have the 2 pistol mags on there for that reason, and I have the 2 AR mags on here, and I carry 2 because I have room for them, so why not? One thing I will make you aware of, if you run AR mags on a belt, they may get in the way of your plate carrier. So if the cummerbund, these actually are right on the side where the cummerbund is on mine, so they don't get in the way of anything because my cummerbund's slick. I don't have anything on it. But that said, if you put anything on your cummerbund, make sure that it clears these mags and you can actually still draw them out without everything on your plate carrier getting in the way. I run 1 mag with just regular full metal jacket because I'm cheap and I'm not going to buy nice ammo. For the second one, I actually, if you see, I have green duct tape on here because it's cheap and it works. For I actually have green tips. So if for some reason I need to use green tips, which in case someone's wearing, I don't know, body armor. I know a lot of level 3s, at least the polyethylene plates, this will actually go through level 3s, so you need level 3 plus or level 4 to stop it, or steel. And the 5.56 rounds, the 55 grain will actually go through steel case, or not steel case, but steel plates, level 3, at certain distances, barrel length. You can look that up if you're interested in it, but basically at a certain velocity, this will punch through steel body armor, so that gives me some options, I guess, depending on what I'm shooting at. The next thing we'll go over, and I will cover the cost. These, for all 4 of them, it was $60. You buy them in a 2-pack. It comes with 1 pistol mag, 1 rifle, and you can attach them to each other if you want, but $60 for those. The belt itself is a Condor duty belt, which, for the price, it's only $20. For the price, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I was just curious. I was like, for $20, why not? I'll try it. I'm actually fairly impressed with it. It's fairly durable. You can compress it a little bit. It's not the most rigid thing on the planet, but again, for $20, what do you expect? It does not come with this Cobra buckle. I added that on there later myself. It comes with 2 plastic buckles they work. They're a little cheesy, a little flimsy, but I was just worried that they were going to snap off or break or something, because I'm, again, not gentle with my equipment. So I went ahead and bought a Cobra buckle. This thing was like $50. You don't have to buy that if you don't want to, if you're trying to be cheap. But I wanted something that was a little bit more durable on there, and to give a belt, I guess, more usability without having to worry about things breaking. The other thing I have on here is a Condor, and sound like a Condor salesman here, but a Condor, let's see, what's this called? It's called a belt roll-up pouch, or a dump pouch, whatever you want to call it. Just call it a dump pouch. This is $20 as well. It unfolds, and you can fit 4 AR mags in here comfortably. You can shove a 5th and a 6th one if you really try, but you'd have to kind of Tetris your way into getting them in here. You could also use this for a water bottle, or if you wanted to put it for snacks, you know, some jelly beans, something fun in here, whatever you wanted. I use it for just dumping mags in or whatever trash I have at the range, something like that. Most of the time I don't end up using it because most of the drills we're running are things we don't usually have more than a couple mags. So I usually just put empty mags back in here for whatever we're doing. But if you're running multiple mags with the plate carrier or something, you need to get rid of them, this is a good place to store them, and I would highly suggest you get one. A lot of people don't get this and they just dump their mags on the ground, which is great for if you're doing high speed, low drag, all that fun stuff at the range. But at some point in a real situation, you need those mags because that's all you got. So, I mean, if you have a whole bunch more somewhere else and you can load up later, great, fine, I guess. Mags are technically disposable, but you'd rather keep them so you can load them up for later again. Now, if you're in a situation where you need to reload quickly, obviously you don't want to just grab your mag, oh, hang on, let me put it in my dump pouch real quick. You need to do a speed reload or attack reload, whatever you want to do. But it's nice to have the ability to keep your mags. The one thing I will say about this, it has a drawstring on it, so you can actually tighten this up if you want to, and this will suck in. They make another model that's a lot wider that actually has like a material that'll kind of bunch up and it kind of expands so you can put stuff in there and it keeps it from falling out. I haven't had a mag fall out of this thing, but it's more possible than the other type. But this one's a lot more compact than their larger one is, and I don't have a lot of space, as you can see, on my belt for extra stuff. So I got this one because it took up less room. But again, it's only about 20 bucks, and for the price, I'm impressed with the quality. Moving over, I have right here another Condor surprise, single pistol mag pouch, and in here I actually have, it's called Sport Smoke Grenade. It's made by Sport Smoke. That's the company's name. I actually fit this in here. I couldn't find anything else that was cheap enough to actually run the smoke grenade in. And if you look up reviews online, these things actually produce quite a bit of smoke. They're not your little cheesy firecracker thing you buy from Walmart on the 4th of July. These actually do put out quite a bit of smoke and are actually useful. And I put it in a Ziploc bag because rain ruins things, and it's not the most quality made smoke grenade on the planet, but it does work. So I just put it in smoke grenade, or put it in a Ziploc bag, so that'll keep it weatherproof. The pistol mag pouch will actually fit this, which is perfect. You have to adjust this. It pulls back out a little bit to give you a little bit more space, but that's something if you didn't have, fine, you don't have to. But it has the MOLLE attachment on the back, but it attaches to the belt just fine, as long as you tuck in the MOLLE on one of the loops before you put it in. That runs about 20 bucks. Next, I have a higher end piece of kit, and I actually really like this med pouch. It's made by T-Rex Arms. It loops through, if you look on the back. It has multiple looping options, if you can see that. It has 4 straps that you can loop through. 2 of them are really wide, and then 2 of them are very narrow. I went ahead and just looped it through all 4, because why not? But it has a, not necessarily like a quick release tab here, but once you unzip it, everything is attached on the inside right here by this. So once you just pull this straight out, and everything is kept inside of these little containers. I have a compressing bandage, a couple of compressed gauze, another little compression bandage kind of knockoff thing. Got a couple pairs of gloves, some extra gauze for wound packing. It doesn't carry a ton of stuff, and I also have a chest seal. So it carries just kind of the bare essentials. It's just big enough. This isn't going to replace your standard IFAK, but it gives you enough to where you have something if all you have is this belt. It does not come with this. This is like an extra $5, but I use it because Sharpie, who doesn't need that at the range to mark all your shots. Then I also put a small little O light on here. I don't remember the name of this, but it's like 150 lumens. It's not super bright, but it's something useful on there. The T-Rex Arms med pouch, also, it does not come with this medical patch. It was like $5. I just slapped on there because you want someone else to know what the stuff is if you can't coherently tell them what it is. That way they can identify, since there's no red on here other than the tourniquet that I put on here. This is North American Rescue tourniquet. Don't cheap out on tourniquets, buy real ones. But it has a little spot on the bottom. Some of you may be thinking, oh, you're not supposed to put this strap across here. You would be correct, unless you've ever run around going prone, shooting from awkward positions, starting on your back, rising to fire. If you've ever done that in mud, or when it's raining, which I did at a pistol class back in October, rained the whole time, both days, and we were just soaked in mud. This will get super clogged up. The Velcro right here will get super clogged up with mud. So if you have it right here like you're supposed to, all this will get so clogged up with mud that this won't actually connect anymore. So I run it to protect that. Yes, I'm going to have to rip that off in order to turn the little windlass here, but that's something besides the point. I would rather this Velcro work and it take it one extra step to put on the tourniquet than it not work and this thing possibly popping out. So, but it is nice that it fits on here, and this stays out of the way of my plate carrier. The plate carrier probably is about here. So you got enough space to move around, it doesn't get in the way. A lot of other belt ones I've seen are either really small and don't carry enough equipment, or they're too big and they run into like hitting your plate carrier, or they just get in the way. So the T-Rex Arms ones, I absolutely love it. Blue Force Gear makes one that's pretty good too, but it's smaller, it doesn't hold as much stuff. So I would suggest this. One thing I will say is that your standard 6-inch Israeli bandage will not fit in here, so that's why I went ahead and got the North American Rescue one. It's a little bit smaller. You could probably fit a 4-inch Israeli bandage in here if you wanted to, but I already had the North American Rescue one, so I just slapped it on here. I think this, like I said, was $5 more, and if you order both of these, I think it's free shipping over $50 or something, so that's something to consider. That's why I went ahead and ordered that, and it's nice to be able to put on here because there's Velcro all over the front. You can give it in different colors, but they're pretty nice. Another thing I have on here was the keepers themselves, which are right here. These are made by SOE, and I really like these. These are high quality keepers. They do not release at all. I also bought some cheapo ones. I don't remember where these things came from right here, but I bought those online somewhere, maybe on Pinterest or something. Who knows where I got those things from. Etsy maybe. But they were only like $5 or $10 for the cheap ones. The SOE ones are about $20, and I think that included shipping, and it comes with like 6 of them. So, and I really like these. These are much better quality than the cheaper knockoff ones that I got. Highly suggest those if you want keepers. If you attach your belt through some other method, then you won't need these, but they are nice to keep all of your stuff properly spaced apart, because the last thing you want to be doing is trying to grab a pistol mag and it's moved its way half over where it's kind of in the way and dragging or catching on other stuff. So it's nice to keep everything in the exact same location, so muscle memory, you can grab your equipment from the same spot every single time. Next we'll cover the holster. I just have a Glock 17 with the TLR1 on there. This is a Blackhawk. I don't know if it's pronounced Epoch or Epoch or whatever. It's EPOCH, but it's a level 3 light variant holster made by Blackhawk. I don't like the Serpa holsters for controversial reasons. I don't think they're the best design on the planet. I don't think they're the safest design on the planet. This one isn't necessarily the best holster either, but it's something I already had, and I decided I might as well use it. But I like something that covers the back of the gun. It kind of covers it, protects it from, again, mud, dirt. If you're rolling around, your gun's going to get disgusting unless you have something actually covering it up. It releases with a thumb tab back here. If you press it part of the way down, it'll pop the hood, but the gun still won't come out. There's retention on the ejection port, so that's nice. And if you push it all the way down, you can draw out. One bad thing about this holster is whenever you press down and release, you can draw it out, but it drags on the gun or tries to hold on to the gun just under friction. So whenever you're pulling it out, if your belt is not very rigid, the holster will come out like this from the bottom, at least if you have it on a low ride mount like I do. So you can see here I have it on a low ride mount, so it goes lower on my leg, so it clears my plate carrier, easier to draw. But a bad thing about that is the holster will come out like this, which will mess up your draw, and it'll kind of do this instead of coming out. So one thing I did to remedy that, I just put a leg strap on here. This is something I had in MacGyver. You can buy this leg strap, I think it was like $10 on Amazon. But I had to MacGyver it on here, and how I did that is I took the longer screw that comes with this mount, the pistol belt mount, and I ran it through, and I actually just got a screwdriver and got it really hot with a lighter, poked a hole, melted a hole. You can see one here. I melted a hole through this strap and then just put the screw through there, and I had to use a couple small washers to create the right spacing, and then that holds it in place, keeps it down. So whenever I draw my pistol now, I have a leg strap around my leg, which keeps this tight against my body so it doesn't pull outwards. If you buy this holster, it does not come with this belt mount, the low ride one. I think it's actually called a jacket slot belt loop. Don't know why they don't just call it a low mount, but it's designed so if you're wearing a jacket, say if you're on duty with your duty belt, this will actually fit through the jacket slot that's made for a gun. And then the jacket can still go around it and zip up. But it works really well like the low mount. If you can afford a Safari Land, get a Safari Land. It's a better holster. But for $100 for this entire thing, it's still significantly cheaper than a good Safari Land holster. And I haven't had any issues whatsoever with it other than it being kind of bulky. One thing I will also say about this is you're definitely going to want this low ride mount. If you've ever run with a plate carrier and a pistol, the last thing you want to do is have a whole bunch of stuff in your way on your plate carrier that's on your right side getting in the way of this. A low ride is the best way, in my opinion, to go. Last thing I have on here, and I think, like I said, it was about $100. I think the holster itself was $75. This was about $10, I think, and then the low ride belt mount itself was, I think, around $15, something like that. Last thing I have on here is a knockoff of the Idogear. I honestly don't remember what this brand was. It was about $5 cheaper, and it was in stock at the time. But I use it to carry multi-tool, which is the Gerber suspension. Fits in there just fine. I think that was like $15. So altogether, this cost about $350 for everything. Obviously, not including a gun, not including multi-tool, and not including the magazines or the smoke grenade or stuff on the inside of here. That's just for all the pouches, holsters, all the equipment itself. You could go a little bit cheaper, about $300, and not get the Cobra buckle. Again, it's personal preference. If you think the plastic one is fine, then run with it. And if it breaks, then replace it, I guess. But I'd prefer having something a little bit more solid. If y'all have any questions about this setup, again, this works for me, and mainly because I like a duty style belt setup, because that's what I'm used to. There's other ways you could do this. There's definitely better equipment out there, but for the price, for about $350, depending on what you get, this is a good setup. I would suggest getting a multi-tool either on your plate carrier or on your belt, because if you don't have one and you need one, you're immediately, as soon as you leave the range, you're going to go buy another one. The last thing you want is to have to fix something and not have the ability to do so, especially if it's a serious situation. But if y'all have any questions about anything I have on here or why I have something set up on here, feel free, comment below. I can do a review over specific stuff if you want. Go into more detail of this. But again, if you have any questions, let me know, and go ahead and like, subscribe if you like this content. I'm going to be trying to do cheaper, or I won't say cheaper. It's cheaper, but high quality for the price equipment. So I very much believe in buying something that's affordable, but also I don't want to compromise too much on durability. And no matter what you do, the cheaper you go, you're always going to be giving up some durability. But the question is, where is that cutoff point? You could spend, $600, $700, $800 on some sort of setup that basically does the same thing as this, and it will probably last longer but have better quality. But at the same time, how much are you using your equipment? How rough are you on your equipment? How much are you abusing it? And everyone's different. If you only go out to the range once a month and you're not super hard on your equipment, this will last you a lifetime. But if you're, I don't know, if this is your duty setup, or say if you go to the range, every week and you're super rough on this stuff, then yeah, you might want to get something a little bit better. But for the price, I'm extremely happy with this setup, and I'm always learning, I'm always changing stuff. But so far, this is what I got. But again, if you like this, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. Have a good one.